Welcome to the Headspace and Tasting Podcast, where we talk manhood, tell stories, and discuss the stuff that matters to us one sip at a time. Hello, Kevin.
What's going on, Matt?
Oh, man. It's another beautiful day in East Central Missouri.
It is.
Great weather. It's just a little bit chilly, but beautiful outside.
It's not freezing.
Not freezing, no.
It's not snow, not ice. I'll take it.
Yep. It's nice. I would like some snow. But
I'm still told February is going to be the month.
Is it? I'm sure.
End of January, into February.
Well, I think we said around Christmas time when we recorded January, we're going to get it. We're going to get it. And
yeah.
It hasn't come yet.
No.
So we had some weird rainstorms and high winds and stuff like that. But for the most part, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
What have you been up to, man?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
One of my daughters, Jenna, she graduated from esthetician school yesterday.
Congratulations. What's her Instagram handle if anybody needs some aesthetic stuff done? Do you know?
Why'd you got to ask me that?
I'm sorry. Jenna, you can get them later. We'll look it up and we'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll find it.
Yeah, I've had some health stuff pop up that I got to deal with. I have a surgical consult next month for a umbilical hernia. Somehow happened. Even though I'm not like a weightlifter anymore. I don't lift weights at all, actually. I guess I'm just at that age where my belly button falls apart. I don't know. Very strange. I blame Emma for, throwing her up in the air or picking her up or whatever. She's just getting bigger and gave me a hernia, I guess. So that's fun. All my fitness workout exercise plans have turned into diet, core stability, lower body strength, and mobility.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm doing, man. Walking at a nice, comfortable pace and doing basically physical therapy exercises every morning. So, but it's been good. I changed up my morning routine to get up, work out, eat breakfast, kind of went back to the old way I used to do things. And then, when I have time throughout the day to study my Bible, I do that. But I always make time sometime that day. And it's been pretty good. I do it fasted, so I'll wake up at 4:30 and just head straight downstairs. I got my water with a little bit of salt in it for the electrolytes and, do my physical therapy stuff in the basement. It's like a cup of coffee almost, man. It wakes me up. So I go upstairs and have my breakfast and raring to go. I cut back on coffee, actually. I'm only drinking 1 cup of coffee a day.
Really?
Yep. And occasionally, too, if Caitlin's out and about, and she'll ask me if I want a Starbucks, and I know that's code for she wants Starbucks. And if I get one, it's okay for her to get one. But I'm like, yeah, bring it to me.
The shocker for me yesterday and today is I stopped by Scotsman Coin and Jewelry.
Yeah, man.
Just to see what was going on.
Was it booming in there? It
was. The price of silver now is right around $79.
Mm-hmm.
And gold's at, what, $4,500 an ounce now?
Around there. Mm-hmm.
And I went in there yesterday. Scotsman was so crowded, I had to park at the thrift store parking lot next door to go over there.
Yep.
And when I went in, everyone was selling. There wasn't anybody buying. Everybody was selling.
Wow.
And so as I was walking in, I saw a gentleman leave, and he had 2 blue totes, plastic, that were holders for coins.
Yeah.
The sleeves of silver coin, rounds.
Right.
And they're a pretty good size. And they were empty. So I know he sold.
Ooh.
And he just left in his fancy Corvette. But I wasn't catching any pricing or anything like that while I was there yesterday. I went there today after they opened, and there wasn't much going on yet, but it was filling up pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
And when I walked in, there was a gentleman standing right next to me who was selling a bunch of sleeves of silver. And his stacks that he had there, I know for a fact because I stood there, and the man said it was 39 grand. and he did a
Wow.
direct deposit into his checking account. Now, based on that, $39,000, I can extrapolate to the guy with the 2 blue totes. He probably sold 100 grand worth of silver yesterday.
Holy moly.
And then when I was leaving, there was another gentleman who came in. He had a small box, and he opened it up and set down on the counter 20 to 25 10-ounce silver bars that he was selling. Nobody was buying anything.
Yeah, it's too high to buy right now.
Everyone's cashing in on it.
But I look at it like planting a tree. The best time to plant a tree is yesterday, and the second best time is today. It's going up, and it's not going to stop.
No.
So you might as well buy. I did I had an old woodcutter $5 bill, 1907 wood chopper, they call it, $5 bill. Took it to Scotsman, because to me, it's just a piece of paper. It was my dad's, and my mom wanted to see what it was worth, and so they gave me $400. They said they'd buy it for $400. I called Mom. She said, "Yeah, cool. Get $400. I'm gonna divide it up amongst the kids and each get $100." And I said, "Well, Mom, silver's at $72 an ounce right now. I would rather have silver." And she's like, "Really? You think I should do that?" I said, because she was gonna buy savings bonds. I said, "Yes, this is a much better rate of return than a savings bond." And I bought 4 ounces at $72, and now it's up to $79 just a week and a half later.
Yeah. In 2025, silver went up 160%. It outpaced gold.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And I used to think it was a hedge against inflation. And I learned that it's not because
anymore.
we had all the inflation and the price of silver barely changed.
Mm-hmm.
What it is the preservation of wealth.
That's it.
And you can go out and buy silver ETFs or mutual funds and all that stuff, gold, whatever. But the bottom line is if something was to happen with the economy, it's still electronic and paper.
Yep.
And you don't get anything out of it.
Yep.
So if you can own the physical silver, physical gold, any opportunity you can do it. Just to hold on to it.
Yeah.
Put it in a safe place.
I took my son with me to Scotsman to do that trade, and we had a really good conversation about currency, the history of currency, and a fiat currency versus a tangible asset, and all that sort of stuff. And like silver has more uses than just being a pretty coin. And kind of explained to him, like, this is why I buy silver. This is why I check when I get change back, when I pay cash for something, I get change back. I check the dates on every coin, every dime, nickel, quarter. And so we talked about that, and it was a good conversation, good education moment for my son. He came in, some people keep silver because of S hits the fan, and you need to buy groceries, and nobody wants to take your dollars anymore because there is, not backed by the full faith of the federal government or whatever.
Right.
And some people buy it, like you said, wealth preservation. I think some people use it as an investment. Those would probably be more the ETF guys. I think for me, it's wealth preservation. It's a combo, investment, wealth preservation, and a hedge against the end of the world.
Sure.
type of thing. So you need to diversify for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I've always said I invest in 3 things: land, lead, and silver. Those are so I want to own land. I'm going to have a good stockpile of lead in a certain form and silver.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just in case. I'm not putting my faith in that. I'm not saying it's going to save my life or make my life better, anything like that. It's just, I think that's my investment strategy, I should say.
And by the way, Jenna's esthetician page on Instagram is glow, GLO, with Jen. So GLO WITHJEN, glow with Jen.
All right. New sponsor for the show, I think. Glow with Jen.
Maybe. Yeah, so she just graduated. She just has to take her test to be board certified with the state of Missouri, which
Cool.
I think that's scheduled for 2 weeks from now.
Cool.
And she's currently interviewing for a spa to work at.
And she can do anything, right? Everything, like facials, massage, nails,
waxing. I don't know. They named off 3 certificate. She earned, she earned more and gained more than out of the class than any other student.
Sweet.
In her.
She do Botox
schooling.
and all that stuff?
No.
That's probably a nurse. You probably have to be a registered nurse for that. Huh?
Yeah, I'm sure. It's probably a prescription
gross
thing.
anyway. I wouldn't want to.
It is. But yeah.
All right. Well, that's
So-
a good catch up.
Yeah. So here we are today. We are obviously digging into our bourbon again.
Yes.
And this time around is Joseph Magnus Straight Bourbon Whiskey finished in sherry and cognac casks. So it's actually a triple cask finish because it uses 3 different barrels that it finishes in. So it's aged in virgin oak barrels just like normal.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's finished off in Oloroso sherry barrels, Pedro Jimenez sherry barrels, and cognac barrels. It is 12-year-old bourbon whiskey. It's 100 proof. It's distilled out of our favorite location in undisclosed Indiana. And we do not know the mash bill on it because no one publishes it, so we have no idea what it is. But it was originally founded in 1892, shut down for Prohibition, reopened again in 2015. And so this is what we're drinking right now. What do you think?
First impressions were, that's a beautiful color. In the bottle, it's like a red, dark brown. Probably the darkest bourbon we've tried so far, maybe besides Booker's. Booker's is pretty dark.
I went through, at least on my book and our previous ratings, I don't have anything as dark as this one.
Yeah, this hands down darker. But when I smelled it, it was, for me, leather, chocolate, very ripe peach, and vanilla coming through, which was a very pleasant odor, very pleasant smell. Tasting it, I got tobacco, leather again, ripe peaches again, vanilla again. So I wrote down, like, it tastes just as it smells, which is different than what we've experienced and things we've tried before, unless it was like a lower end bourbon where it's like, oh, it just smells like whiskey and it tastes like whiskey. But this is
Yeah, my nose was similar. I mean, it had the classic bourbon aromas of vanilla and oak and caramel.
Yeah.
And while you smelled the peach, I was smelling more like a dark fruit. But I couldn't describe what it was. But it didn't seem to be as light as like peach.
Yeah, I think that's what was kind of like very ripe, like a maybe as a dark fruit or in between. Like, what did you have? What were those fruits you had before? Like a hybrid.
The pluot.
Pluot. Something. Maybe it's like that.
Yeah.
Like a plum and a
apricot
type of.
Yeah, and it might make sense because what I tasted, certainly I got a bit of the ethanol
for sure
off of it, and it was like a rich vanilla and caramel right off the bat. A little bit of tobacco, like you said, but I also got plum and some orange zest, and it might be where you're coming up with the peaches on both, and I'm pulling both of them out of there.
Okay.
But I will tell you, it's certainly front focused and a slow drift of the heat to the back, but it's a very smooth drink.
Yes.
And definitely from its aging.
Yeah, I would say it's very well balanced for all the different flavors that you taste. One doesn't really overpower the other, except for maybe the caramel vanilla sweeter ones.
Right.
Are a little bit stronger.
But I noticed that as long as if I let it settle in the mouth a little bit before I swallowed it, and once I did, as far as the finish, I still got charred oak, a bit of pepper. But this is where the finish is with the sherry cask, because I got that in the taste. And then as I swallowed, then I was certainly getting the cognac flavor profile.
Definitely.
That really jumps out. So you could tell it probably sat in there a little bit longer than what you normally would. Like most of them will sit in there like maybe a month, 2 months. I think they might have settled in there a little bit longer to pull those flavors out.
Yeah, I'm a little lost when it comes to sherry flavors. I don't know if I've ever tasted sherry. I've probably used it to cook with, maybe. But
well, that's cooking sherry. It's different. I have some at home. I'll bring some in. We could try it.
All right. That would probably help me. But the cognac for sure, because I had a sweet-ish, like a sweet finish, which is like a cognac is kind of like a That's more of a dessert drink, right?
Yeah, but it's to me, it's got the tan. It's kind of tannic.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I've mistaken cognac in the past because I would say it's kind of, I get a peatiness like a Scotch, and which throws me off because it has nothing to do with peat whatsoever, because it's made from wine barrels.
Right.
So that's what throws me off over time as I try it. But that's some of the flavor I'm getting in it.
You think that's the oak interacting with the overly aged grape juice wine?
Yeah.
Okay. What does your little star look like? How do we compare here?
Mine's a little more flatter than yours.
Okay. Oh yeah, but you had dark fruit. We were both the same. I had more charred tannins because it did dry my mouth out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Full-bodied. This is what I would call a full-bodied bourbon, and we'll see what we rate it at the end of the show. Stick around and see how many stars we give it out of 5. But I'm filling mine in right now.
So I will say it is $100 a bottle. No, I didn't buy it. This was a gift. They have another one that is the cigar blend, and I'm told it tastes better than this one.
Interesting.
But it goes for $150 a bottle, and I'm not going to spend $150.
It can't be $150 worth, right? Like it's not. That would I can't.
I don't
see
know.
the
I've never
value
had
in
it.
150. Somebody buys one.
And this is the thing about Joseph Magnus. So Joseph Magnus, you're not going to find in most restaurants or bars around here. It's just not there.
Yeah.
Out of all the places I've been to in the St. Louis area, I've only found one place that had it.
Really?
And they didn't have the cigar blend. They just had this one.
Okay. Well, it's a good one, man. And we'll see how good at the end of the show.
Sure.
But it does change a little bit in the glass, too, as it's breathing. It gets a little more aromatic and fruity, I felt. Good stuff.
Would you like some more?
No.
Okay. It is a real cork.
Yeah, real cork. Cool bottle, too. Interesting. Original.
Yeah, the design on the bottle is from the original Murray Hill.
Neat.
Is the bourbon that used to come from this distillery.
And you said this was a descendant of the original distillery.
The Murray Hill,
right?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So talking this week, we had our little show meeting. You sent an email, 27 things you should give up this year. Came from the Art of Manliness website or blog, I guess.
Well, he has a website. I think he's up to somewhere around 1,200 podcasts.
Yeah,
he's been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah.
Brett McKay.
Yeah. Great. He puts out great content for men. Or women, too, if you want to try to understand men a little bit better.
Sure.
You could check it out. But he did this, I don't know if it was, Brett and Kate McKay, so him and his wife, put out this article, 27 things you should give up this year. And
why did he write it? Do you recall?
I don't.
So at the beginning of the year, what does everybody tend to do?
Oh, yeah.
They all want to set goals. This is what I'm going to do this year.
New Year's resolution.
Yeah, and he made an argument that there's the opposite can also be true, and that if you want to improve yourself, maybe there's some things you want to get rid of.
Yeah,
and see an immediate improvement versus working towards
just like
something.
You cleaned out your basement and you felt that huge breath of relief, like, wow,
yeah,
I didn't need all this junk around anyway.
Yes.
So what are some of the ones that stuck out to you? We're not going to go over all 27. But,
we'll see what we do. So number one for me was, keeping up with the news. And he had in there, how much do these events affect your life? How much were you able to influence them by being informed? And I thought that was very informative. We get all worked up by the news, and the reality is, can you do anything about some of the things that happened? So, it's important enough to stay abreast of what's going on in the world or in your community. But you know what? Your life is not going to get any better or worse based on things you can't do. So if it's outside your control, like he says, stop with the time sucking and the stress inducing and pointless distractions, and take the news for what it is, and if it's not affecting you personally, keep on going.
Yep. Number 2, engaging in negative self-talk.
Yes.
3, looking
I'm
at
good
your
at that.
negative self-talk.
Yes, I'm real
me
good
too.
at negative self-talk.
Yeah, I am too. We've had many conversations.
Yeah, my diary's filled with negative self-talk, and that's what my diary's for sometimes.
And you know what the weird thing is? That, like, if you share those negative self-talk moments with another man, they just look at you like, what are you, stupid? Like,
Yeah.
what? No, you're crazy, dude.
And you know they're doing the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is also funny.
Like, knock it off, man. You're lying to
But
yourself.
a good example of me turning this part off is right here at the beginning of the year at work. You know, I'm having massive turnover in my department.
Yeah.
And I could sit and dwell on it all day long. But I'm actually taking a very positive attitude towards it and go, you know what, this is an opportunity to rebuild my department in the way I want it to look.
And I'm sure in some of those cases, those people did you a favor by leaving.
Yes. Most of them. But
Saved
there's
you-
a few
saved you
that,
some paperwork.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm going to miss.
Yes. Looking at your phone right when you wake up. Do you do that?
I do not. And
I don't either.
he recommended, or Brett from The Art of Manliness, he recommended that you wait 30 minutes before you check your phone, allowing your brain to boot up on its own. And that is what I do.
Yeah.
The first thing I do when I wake up is I'm reading the Bible. I have my little energy drink, what you drink, coffee. Mine is Spark and Rehydrate, a little bit of mix, a couple supplements, and then I read the Bible, meditate a little bit, and then I'll check my phone.
I should be more clear. I drink a 12-ounce Americano, not just any coffee. So,
All right. Thank you for your transparency.
just want to let everybody know how fancy I am. Consuming caloric drinks.
Yeah.
This doesn't apply to me because I don't drink soda. I don't drink orange juice or apple juice or anything
I
like that.
quit drinking soda and stuff like that.
That's a great
almost
idea.
5 years ago.
If you're doing this, get away from that poison.
Sure.
This one hits me. Mindlessly scrolling your phone.
I'm guilty.
I don't have any social media apps whatsoever. So that means I am on YouTube a lot.
I know. I get a lot of links that you suddenly send to me. I'm going, I got
can't
time to
keep
look
up.
at this. So sometimes I'll read the title.
Yeah.
And transparency, I just send back the ha-ha.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I looked at it.
I get
no,
it.
I didn't.
I get it. Yeah, so you get hooked on those YouTube shorts, those little clips, and you just scroll, next one, and it's hilarious. It's like kids falling off a slide or something really funny. And
For me, after that, did you have 6, 7, or 8?
yeah, I have 6 here.
Okay. I didn't.
Oh, for me, for something that sticks
Yeah.
out. Yeah, saying you're too busy to read books. I have a lot of books that I started in 2025 that I didn't finish. One sitting right there.
Yeah.
And so I have them all over the place.
Is that the bookmark place in your book?
Yes.
Oh, you're right. You didn't get very far.
I started reading that before we did our Katy Trail trip. So I have a terrible habit of buying books, putting them on my bookshelf, and then they collect dust. And then I'll start reading one. I'm like, it's like changing a channel. I'll pick up another book and start read a little bit. So I got like 5 of them that I'll hop around, and I never end up finishing one lately.
I typically read 2 at a time.
Okay.
And as I'm reading them, I will take the time. I might reread some sections. I might take some notes because I am a note taker. I might find something I can use in the future out of it. However, what I get guilty of is when I get closer to the end of a book, for instance, I'm in that last 50 pages, I'm going, how fast can I read it and get it done? and then I forget some of my note taking and the reasons why I read these books.
Yeah. Skipping cardio and mobility work. I'm on that journey right now.
Number 9, letting minor annoyances ruin your mood.
Yeah.
He had some interesting examples, and the one that stood out to me was slow drivers. Oh. Anybody in my family will tell you that Kevin's a nice guy. He's pleasant. He's very even keel. But when I'm driving a car and I'm around slower, stupid drivers, I am just letting it go like you wouldn't believe.
I had an incident yesterday, actually. somebody, that part on Junkerman, somebody was trying to turn into Walgreens like right away.
Mm-hmm.
And it backed up like 6, 7 cars. And I'm in the right lane, turning right on a Junkerman. And I go down, and these cars are trying to just whip out and go around this car that's trying to turn left. There's no turn lane there. And this minivan is coming out, and I'm coming up, and I just beat my horn and went through. I have the right of way. This, like, you're in my lane. You didn't have your turn signal on, anything. And she rides my butt for a good 2 miles in this minivan. And then I go to make my left-hand turn, and of course she pulls by, flipping me off. And I was like, how am I wrong in this situation? I had the right of way. It's my lane. You didn't use your turn signal. You're trying to go around like...
Right.
What?
And he says in the same paragraph, those annoyances probably won't matter in 10 minutes, so stop letting them ruin your mood. And so for you couldn't care less. No. She's all worked up, and she's probably got kids in the back seat. She's suddenly yelling at them, or she's got her hand in the back, whipping them in the legs. Settle down.
Yeah, it actually made me giggle a little bit. So I was like, oh, thank you for brightening my day. Next, number 10, avoiding difficult conversations.
Yeah.
Not a problem for you? No. Me neither. Complaining about things you can't or won't change.
Yeah, I kind of get that way sometimes. Actually, I don't. I'm surrounded by people who do.
Yeah.
And he says straight up in this post, stop your belly aching. If you can't change something, accept it. And if you can change it, get to work.
Do it, man. Yeah.
And that's absolutely true.
Yeah. Okay. 13, letting algorithms choose what you read and watch. This is a big one for me. So while I am on YouTube, I get all these ads and commercials, whatever, for some reason, it's like all AI, whatever. It's like a bunch of weird crap that I have no interest in whatsoever. So I'll go on, I block them. I'm taking time to block them, and every single one. So,
okay.
So it'll stop showing up, because I'm like, you're not going to decide what interests me.
Right. Well, but Brett also says, very last statement of that paragraph for number 13 is to rediscover the joy of surprise. So I've thought about this a little bit, because I'm guilty of it. If I'm on Netflix or Prime or something like that, I'm scrolling through movies looking for something to watch. And I'll go buy a bunch of them that I'm going, no. Oh, I've watched the one 10 times. I'm going to watch it number 11. When maybe I should, I'm going to go ahead and watch this one. I've never heard of it before.
Yeah.
Let's check it out. And I've done this a couple times recently. You know what? I like them.
Yeah. And, I'm okay with being disappointed in a movie, where I watch a movie and I was like, I didn't get, it didn't really tickle my fancy, but I gave it a try. And they're worth a shot, if you have some time to kill. 14, being cynical. 15, thinking you're too old to learn a new skill. 16, drinking alcohol.
Boo. And we should say, you know what? For everyone, so we know, because we like to be open here.
Oh, okay.
You and I are both doing a dry January.
Dry-ish.
Yes, because the only time we're having any kind of bourbon is for this podcast.
That's it.
And we're limited it to no more than 2 ounces.
Yeah. Alcohol, like no alcohol except while we're recording the show.
Correct. So even when we're done recording the show, we're not going to have any more. This will be it. We'll cap the bottle, and we're done. And you've noticed some changes already.
Yeah. Because I've while I'm doing this, I've also increased my cardio and started getting my diet in control and doing all that stuff. So I'm hitting my at least 10,000 steps a day, or I'm doing my row machine lightly. Got to be really careful. So I'm doing my PT, but cutting back on the alcohol intake at night, like, because that would be my habit. We'd have dinner, get the baby ready for bed. I'd pour myself a glass or two, and sit and watch TV to finish the night out. So
I have a friend of mine who is fully functional. Like, he is always on target. His brain is always hot wired. He's in great shape. I don't know how the man does it, because this man, he'll come home from work. First thing he does, he'll have a martini. And then when he's done drinking that martini, over the course of the evening, he's drinking about 4 beers.
Yeah.
And then prior to bedtime, he's having himself a bourbon.
Yeah.
That's a daily routine. And
he's fit.
Very much so.
Sharp.
Yeah, he's a runner. And
he just has the genetics to
he does.
booze.
You know what? More credit to him, man.
Yeah, I'm always envious.
The only thing I've noticed
exactly
with the
what you're talking about, so I'm always like, dang, I wish I could do that.
right. The only thing I've noticed with the dry January is nothing.
Well, you said you had some more dreams lately.
Well, that
right?
was last night. That was the first time ever.
Well, now maybe the booze is finally getting out of your system.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it's just funny.
Well, if it's nothing else, it's a good discipline practice. Just to say, I made a commitment. I'm going to stay disciplined.
I'm sure with my exercise and my supplements and stuff like that, I'm cleansing my liver.
Yeah. Well,
you know?
I'm super anal about it. Like I do I weigh and scan. I have a DEXA scan scale, so I weigh myself, scan myself every Saturday morning. I have the same exact routine every single day.
Maybe that should be number 28 on the list. Don't do the same thing every day.
Well, I mean, I eat the same, like I do.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, you know.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe for somebody else, not for me.
Anyway, number 17, trying to win every argument.
Oh, dude.
I'm not that way.
I used to be really bad about that.
Yes, me too. I'm not that way anymore, but I do know people who are like that.
That's like that saying, like, why are you, somebody asked me, why are you so happy? Well, I don't argue with idiots anymore. And somebody's like, well, that's stupid. You shouldn't move on. And be like, oh, yeah, you're right. And
touche.
You just move on.
Right. Number 18, holding on to your anxiety habit.
Yeah.
I don't do this. However, I once attended a conference in which a gentleman gave a talk, and he talked about this very topic, and his thing was the pity party.
Uh-huh.
And he gave everyone in the audience permission to hold your own private pity party. But he said, you get 3 days. At the end of that 3 days, your pity party's over. And you better toss that stuff behind you and keep moving on. And you know what? I still think about that today. But he always talked about how when he got disappointed or declined in something, he would have this pity party and he would withdraw into his room or his own little man space, and he'd play the same song over and over again. You know,
sounds like a woman to me.
Yeah, kind of making him feel bad, you know, and just kind of mope around and have his own little pity party about how big of a loser he is.
Sure.
And then after 3 days, out.
Get back at it.
Yep.
Huh.
Then move on.
All right. This next one got cut off for me. What is it? Dressing like a man?
Boy instead of a man.
Hey.
I completely agree. You know, if you're over the age of 20, turn that hat around.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, the backward hat is, one time, Gail and I were on a double date at a nice restaurant, very nice restaurant. And we're enjoying ourselves. And everyone there, at least business casual, maybe a little bit more.
Okay.
In walks this couple. The woman is beautiful, decked out in this red gown, not like a club dress, but kinda. And her date was with her, and he is in jeans and
Hoodie?
yes, thanks, a hoodie, and he's got his hat on backwards.
Wow.
And they sat down, and all I could think is, you have got to be kidding me.
Maybe he was a billionaire and just was like that. Like,
I don't know. And I know that, you know, I'm not going to judge anyone, and she likes him for some reason.
sure.
There's a reason why they're together. But at the same time, as a man, I think you should put in the effort to upscale your wardrobe a little bit,
Yeah, at least
and look nice
special
when you're in a
evenings.
nice date.
Yeah.
Especially at a
Special
nice
events.
location.
Right.
Don't be John Fetterman walking through the houses of the Senate.
I like it.
Well, I do too.
Because it shows like how stupid this
He's
whole
not
situation
entirely
is.
stupid.
No.
But you know what? There's a
talking
place for
about
decorum.
How stupid and silly the whole situation is, where those people take themselves way too seriously.
Well,
So
they don't
he's
wear
kinda
wigs.
like, some of them do.
Yeah, Britain does. But I'm saying, you
I
know,
heard that
there's
Lindsey
a
Graham
place
does
for
from time to
decorum.
time.
And we, as a society, have just completely forgotten what it's like to
I think it's coming back.
to be
man.
appropriate. It's a very slow process.
I think it's coming back. The younger generation, like I said before, this Gen Alpha, they're gonna save us.
We're going to put our hopes in them.
Well, no, my hope's in Jesus, but I think they're doing okay.
Okay.
We'll be fine.
We'll see.
Or we'll all be dead, and it won't matter. Settling for a job you hate, number 21. Oh, no, 20. Saying yes when you mean no.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've ever done that.
Yeah.
Maybe at work, if it was just like I have to play office politics here. And
What's his name from It's a Wonderful Life?
mm-hmm.
The whole movie is him saying yes when he should have said
Right,
no.
George, yeah. And then 21, settling for a job you hate.
I've done that in the past.
I have too, and I highly recommend you don't do that. Being a conversational narcissist.
It's all about me.
Yeah. I know a few of those.
Mm-hmm.
Going through your week without a plan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree with this.
I like how Brett described it a little bit. A simple plan creates orientation and reduces decision fatigue.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
We've talked about that before, man.
Yeah.
About
analysis by paralysis by analysis.
Yeah, and you have a compass and you need to be pointed on your azimuth, and you have to constantly be checking.
Sure.
Or regularly checking your azimuth, make sure you're on the right path.
It'd be all exaggerated. Be simple about it.
Yeah. Yeah, use your Microsoft calendar and just, I have an appointment this day.
Right.
I can fit a park visit and a workout in here, and just have a plan.
If you're carrying a pocket notebook, just bullet point, these are my to-dos.
Oh, that's another thing about being a grown man. You should always have something to write on and something to write with.
Sure.
Always. You never know when you have to write it down. Some people could use their phone in the notes or whatever, but I learned that as a young private, brand new private in the Army. Put a notebook in your back left pocket and a pen in your...
oh, yeah, hidden.
Yeah, hidden in the BDU thing in the front. Yeah. 24, being too proud to say you're sorry. Yeah, for this one, I'm like, dude, grow the hell up. Be a man. Apologize when you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's literally, it's that simple for me.
And don't ever say, I'm sorry you're upset.
No, that's not an apology.
No, it's not.
I think I said this before. I like to say I apologize for what I did or said. I'm very sorry. And that shows you're truly apologetic and
but maturity.
If you keep doing it over and over again, you keep apologizing, your apologies mean nothing. So actually mean it and do something about it.
Yes. And if you're constantly apologizing, you're doing nothing to improve yourself.
Yeah.
Nothing. You're still hanging out in the goo. Get out of the goo.
Yeah. Oh, here you go, Kevin. Not responding to emails and text messages. How about that?
Mm-hmm. that could be a big deal. So I'm starting to, because I get a lot of work email over the course of a day. I probably get around 130, 140 in the course of my day. And I've gotten to the point now on several of them, I know I need to be responding. On several of them, I'll just do the little emoji like. So it's going back to whoever the sender was. It at least acknowledges I received it.
Yeah.
It's not enough to warrant a response. My favorites are when somebody sends you an email and to reply, thank you for the information, I'll take care of it. Mm-hmm. And they respond again, thank you. I just said thank you. That's it. It's like saying over and out.
Email them back, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
When I say out, it means out. Yeah. Don't give me another out. I already outed you.
26. Blaming your parents for your current life.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
What does he say there? What does Brett say there?
It says your upbringing matters, but at a certain point, you've got to take responsibility for who you are now and who you're becoming. You can't change the past, but you're in charge of the future.
100%.
Yeah. Now, there's always unforeseen circumstances that pop up, illnesses and whatever, financial hardships, stuff happens. But ultimately, if you point your azimuth in a direction, you make a plan, and you check in on yourself every once in a while, and you're consistent about it, you're going to improve your situation.
Right.
Unless that azimuth's pointed at, like, drugs, heroin or something.
And we're always going to have Murphy's Law of Combat.
Yeah.
All day long.
Sure.
But you have your plan.
Have your plan.
And you might have to adjust and go to the left or go to the right.
Yeah.
But you're still going forward.
I was just talking about this at work with a guy yesterday that I'm kind of mentoring. that you need to have a plan, a written down, black and white, a plan. But you also need to think about a contingency, maybe 2. If something goes wrong, here's my backup, what we're going to do. If that doesn't work out, we're going to pivot to this. Beyond that, dude, just improvise and be flexible.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your plan, follow the plan, check the blocks, do what you got to do, make sure you're accomplishing your goals, and then have a plan, a second plan in place in case something happens.
Right.
And 27, thinking good times are just around the corner. This is what I was thinking last night. I was about to go to bed. Saturday's coming, baby. Good times right around the corner. So focusing on good time. I can't wait till Friday night, and it's Monday, 9:00 Monday morning. I can't wait till Friday night. I'm going to hang out with the dudes, and we're going to do this. Like, bro, you're going to lose focus about what you're supposed to be doing this week.
Mm-hmm. But I also like what he says about that, because it's not just about that, but he talks about how you're putting stuff off.
Yeah, procrastination.
Because you're taking care of something, and you'll do it tomorrow, or you're going to do it a week from now, and it just never happens.
Sure.
And he says, hey, you know what? Pull the trigger now.
Yep.
And make it happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, that 27 kind of sums up the other 26 all in one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
Yeah, thanks to Brett and Kate McKay from the Art of Manliness website. Appreciate you. It's nice for somebody else to do the work sometimes, and we just get to
just print it out and read it,
dialogue it a little bit. Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of stuff that we've been talking about since we started the show.
Sure,
honestly. I saw a cool statistic this week that in the past 12 months, the number of drug overdoses has fallen off a cliff. It's actually down 26.3% nationwide, the amount of drug overdoses.
That's good.
Which is great.
What's causing that?
Well,
are they switching drugs?
Either the drugs are getting blown up in the Caribbean and sunk to the bottom of the Caribbean Ocean, Caribbean Sea. I think less people are doing drugs nowadays, just like less people are drinking alcohol and partying and all that. But I think it might be a more access to Narcan. It could be, or naloxone as it's called, the real name. It could be that. There's no real explanation to these. I pulled this off the CDC website, and every state reports their number of overdose deaths to the CDC.
Well, and that's good, because I think we're still up around 200,000 to 300,000 overdose deaths a year. I think somewhere around there, and the numbers.
Yeah, all that data is really hard, because some of the states only report deaths, like unnatural death, or and it's really hard to get a handle on this stuff. But they're saying the amount of deaths from overdose, acute overdose, are down, which is great. And you could see the graph here, man. This starts in January of 2015, and look at that climb on there. As soon as it hits 2022, it starts to plateau. But between 2020 and 2022, a huge increase. And then it kind of plateaus, and then January 24 it starts just falling way off the cliff.
What do you think caused that?
There's some people saying that Trump, got in office, and people started enforcing laws. Actually, local and state governments are enforcing laws,
shutting down the Mexico border,
shutting down the border. Defending our homeland from narco-terrorism. It could also just be, maybe people started having hope in their future, and they're like, hey, I want to get off these drugs. I'm going to get off.
Right. We know that there's a movement.
Yeah. Or maybe all the people who were the main people who were wanting to kill themselves with drugs are dead, and now the younger generation of people are like, well, I'm not going down that road. That could just be the tipping point that that month. I don't know, but whatever it is, I'm glad. I'm happy. You know, when I worked at the fire department, I think I can't even count how many people I gave Narcan to and saved their life from a drug overdose. I lost count. And this is just in a small rural county in South Carolina. I know one guy was we had return customers, repeat customers, you know, or we would go to a call and they'd be like, oh, no, he's okay. We had some Narcan in the fridge. And we give him the Narcan, and, you know, that's dangerous too, because that Narcan wears off eventually and the heroin could still be in their system. But that started coming out where the local clinic, the methadone clinic, which basically was replacing heroin with methadone, they became the dealers, started giving Narcan. So you come in and get your methadone high, and you go home with some free Narcan. And I have mixed feelings about that, but as long as people are getting their lives saved and hopefully turning themselves around, that's really cool.
Yeah.
But as far as defending our borders, that's the big one, I think, where we actually said, we're a sovereign nation. These are our borders. You're going to respect them or else, period.
Yep.
And, you know, the designation of the drug cartels as terrorist organizations was a huge deal.
Yes.
And a lot of people did not give that the full credit it was due, because what that does is involves the DOD. It goes from a law enforcement to a military action.
Well, and it also goes after the banking system.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Which is one of the things that's being targeted right now. The offshore banks, which are not governed in any way.
No. Yeah, the money laundering, properties, all that kind of stuff. And it just so happened that, January 3rd, 2026?
Yeah, last week during our show.
We had I don't know if you could say unprecedented, but it was a very successful raid into a foreign country to capture a dictator from his home, which is pretty, there's so many details about this operation that happened that are just like, whoa, that is crazy.
Yes.
So, you know, we could talk all day about it, just one operation, but we'll just say it was a successful military operation done by a Tier 1 unit. And they snatched Maduro and his wife and had him back in the States within a few hours and didn't lose a life. No American hurt, killed. We didn't lose any equipment. Mm-hmm. And if you look back through the history of these Tier 1 operations, like the most recent, like the Bin Laden raid, where we lost a stealth helicopter, almost lost the whole operation.
Almost every one, you seemed like there was a helicopter going down.
Something happened, yeah.
Malfunction.
This operation here, I have no doubt, put the brakes on a whole bunch of countries trying to meddle in U.S. sphere of influence,
or at least have second thoughts.
Yeah, they're probably like, oh, yeah. They're actually willing to do that. Like, I thought they were just bluffing.
Right. Well, you know, it goes all the way back. So let's go peel our onion back in the history a little bit.
Yeah.
So you go all the way back. We as a country were around for 40 years. 40 years? Mm. And we had the War of 1812.
Yeah.
And War of 1812 was against the British. That's the last time a foreign nation invaded the United States.
Well, Japan invaded.
It was a territory, not a state.
Oh, that's right. It wasn't a state.
It's kind of a thing. I can talk about that a little bit. But the British came in, burned Washington, actually ate the dinner that was left over in the White House because they left so quickly.
Yeah. Canadians played a role in it too, didn't they?
Yes. But that war ended in 1814.
Yeah.
Okay. And then in 1815, a year after, you had the Battle of Waterloo. And the Battle of Waterloo was Napoleon and the French fighting all of the allies against them. So that was the British, the Prussians, the Russians. And Belgians, and some other Germans were all involved fighting against Napoleon in the Battle of Waterloo. That was 1815. He lost, and that was the end, more or less the end of the French monarchy, and then the Republic came back after that. Well, so you had the War of 1812, done in 1814. Battle of Waterloo, 1815. The dust started to settle in Europe, and the monarchy started to recover. And then 1816, James Monroe was elected president. Now, not a whole lot was going on at that point. But I will tell you that between that defeat and between 1810 and 1822, 15 colonies declared independence from Spain. All of these colonies were in Central and South America. And so the Western Hemisphere. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that Spain was actually an ally or a part of Napoleon and the French, and they were defeated. They were weakened. So all these colonies over there said, you know what, now's our chance, because Spain isn't going to do anything. But we ran into a problem, because here it is, 5-6 years after all of that was taking place, and then the European powers started to reassert their right for colonization.
Like, there's gold mines
and
there.
they wanted to reclaim some of these territories. Like Spain is weak, so let's go get the Spanish territories. And then James Monroe decided to give an address to Congress in 1823.
December 2nd, 1823.
And essentially he declared America's, or the Western Hemisphere, or the Americas, as off limits to European powers. And that established what was later known as the Monroe Doctrine. And you know what? Honestly, between 1823 and 1900, around there, the U.S. couldn't do anything about it.
No, we didn't have a navy at all. And you had the British and the French Navy, and even the Spanish Navy still. Like, we couldn't compete with them.
Yes. And I kind of bring this up because one of the things with Venezuela that we're involved with now, and what no one's really talking about, but what's part of this conversation, is Guyana, which borders Venezuela on the east, is coming into play. Now, why would that be? So you kind of go back into the history. Venezuela, the way the borders are set up today, were established back in the 1800s, and it was signed off by the Paris Commission, in which all the countries over there, the empires, agreed, and the United States, that the borders of Venezuela today will be the borders of Venezuela. There is a territory, part of Guyana, it's the western side of it, and Guyana is a country the size of Idaho. So there's a section that probably would make up, I would say, 30 to 40% of the country that borders Venezuela, that when Maduro came back into power in Venezuela, or came into power, he started to contest Guyana for that territory and said, this is ours. Even though it's been established for well over 100 years, that nope, this is Guyana. It was all internationally accepted. And now all of a sudden Maduro's gone. And guess what? In December, the United States and Guyana, they put together a security agreement. And in which we'll honor the borders of Guyana, and we're increasing our military training and partnerships with each other. And I did not know it either, but World War II, that was a stopping point. The port there was a stopping and going point between the United States and Africa. Didn't know that.
Well, they speak English there. That's a weird thing about Guyana. I went to airborne school with a guy from Guyana. He didn't look Central or South American. He actually looked like East Asian or Indian almost. So it's a strange mix of, African, native, South American, Spanish, Portuguese, like English. So they've always been that type of place where it's a good spot to stop for ships.
But I figured I'd bring that up because everyone thinks, what are we doing in Venezuela?
No.
Well, you know what? There's a little bit more.
It's chess, not checkers.
You got to kind of know the history. Study your history, folks. And see what's going on. But anyway, so you had that, and then nothing really happened, I don't think, until Roosevelt came in, or you have something else?
Grant invoked it, and then Roosevelt. So Grant was really the first president that tried to use it for various reasons. And, the weird thing about a doctrine, as I read through this, is that it's like official policy, but unofficial, because you can always, like, you can say, no, we're not going to recognize this. I think John Kerry was the one who came out and said, the day of the Monroe Doctrine is over. And then a new president comes in and is like, yeah, we're going to use in fact, we're going to call it the Donroe Doctrine.
Yeah. Well, you're right, because not too far after the Monroe Doctrine, we hit the 1830s, 1840s. Uh-huh. Then you had something called Manifest Destiny for the United States, in which we went all out and we expanded from coast to coast. Yeah.
I have here, like, as early as 1783, the United States adopted a policy of isolation and announced its intention to keep out of European affairs. Mm-hmm. And so they were like, we're going to stay out of your affairs, you stay out of ours. And then looking again, Alexander Hamilton, when he was writing the Federalist Papers, brought up, the idea that we need to fight against the influence of European powers in our backyard, basically. We need to look out for our waters around the country, this Fortress America type of idea.
And I think it was John Quincy Adams who became a future president. He was the one who articulated the Monroe Doctrine.
He was, yeah. James Madison, who was Thomas Jefferson's Secretary of State and future president. He was the ambassador to Spain, expressed the U.S. government's opposition to territorial acquisition. I'm sorry. That was a mouthful there.
Have another bourbon.
Yeah. So although Jefferson was pro-French, in an attempt to keep the U.S. out of any European conflicts, the federal government under Jefferson made it clear to its ambassadors that the U.S. would not support any future colonization efforts on the North American continent. So they were, from the beginning, taking a hard stand, like, hey, we don't want you meddling in our areas. Don't be trying to colonize anymore. But then it's like, as administrations changed, some people were weaker on it, some people stronger on it. And it seems like when a president came out, anytime a president came out and said, Monroe Doctrine, we're going to defend our neighbors and we're going to control our sphere of influence, everybody's like, oh, he's a tyrant. This is colonialism. This is imperialism. This is, whatever.
You're funny. You're right. Every single Congress, it didn't matter who the president was, all responded the same way.
And the fact of the matter is, this is as much as America as baseball and apple pie. This is like, yeah, we're going to defend our territorial waters, and we're going to be, if they want to trade with anybody, trade with me, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Which makes total sense for your self-preservation as a nation. Like, I don't know what's so bad about that.
Right.
Don't take advantage of people. Don't enslave them. Don't, all that kind of stuff. I think even with Trump, when he said, we're going to take, 50 billion barrels of oil from Venezuela, we could have just taken it. Like, we literally could have just taken it and say, screw you, this is our oil now. But no, we're going to pay fair market value for that oil. What? I don't understand how people can be upset about that. If he was such a tyrant, or if we were in such an empire that we were going to dominate and control everything, we would just take it.
Yeah.
And we don't.
Yep. So moving up, you hit 1902. 1902, Teddy Roosevelt was president, and he declared the Roosevelt Corollary to the Monroe Doctrine. And it essentially said, Europe, keep out. But the United States, we can go in if we have a justification to do so. And interestingly enough, this came after the British, French, and Russian gunboats started to blockade Venezuelan ports for demanding debt payments, because they were behind on their debt payments. Yeah. And they started to go over there, and Roosevelt said, nah, I don't think so. And then so they left. We sent the Great White Fleet down there, and we actually worked with Venezuela, and they started to pay their debt. Yeah, we protected them at the same time.
So my notes here, have the Venezuelan crisis of 1895. It was one of the momentous episodes in the history of Anglo-American relations.
Yeah.
And it was like it was the same. It's like the same thing that's just been going on since the beginning of modern civilization in the Americas. Let's see. What else do I have? Oh, go ahead.
Well, while you're looking on your notes,
Yeah.
I did some quick research, and one of the books I pulled out was Theodore Rex, which is a book written by Edmund Morris. That's the second of a trilogy on the life of Teddy Roosevelt, which I highly recommend anyone. And when I pulled up some information, or looking up some information on this period of time, I came across a single paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not going to talk about the details or the background on the events, but I'm going to read you what this one paragraph says, because we're 120 years later,
Yeah.
and we're dealing with almost exactly the same thing in some little state north of us called Minnesota.
Yeah.
This is what it says. Elsewhere in McClure's magazine, Lincoln Steffens contributed the article, quote, or the name of the article, "The Shame of Minneapolis, Rescue and Redemption of a City That Was Sold Out." The article, plentifully illustrated with bribery lists and police file photographs, recounted the slide to corruption of a once honest mayor. Thanks to the efforts of a courageous grand juror, Minneapolis was now purged, but Steffens already allowed a cynical question to shadow his last paragraph. Can a city be governed without any alliance with crime? This is 1903.
There is nothing new under the sun, Kevin.
Right. 1903, Minneapolis is already corrupt. Now the entire state is corrupt in 2026.
I don't know.
Crazy.
It's like a spreading of a cancer from Minneapolis right into the it's probably like California. The majority of that big state are probably like, what the hell is going on in Minneapolis?
But you know what?
Like,
I'm not even looking for anything on that. I'm looking
no,
for...
it just popped up.
You got to be kidding me.
Well, yeah, I had this kind of the same thing where we have the Olney corollary. This is something that popped up in my research of Monroe.
What's the year on that?
There's so many corollaries. This is 1895 because it was let's see, Richard Olney. He was a U.S. Secretary of State. He interpreted the Monroe Doctrine when the border dispute from the Essequibo, I have no idea what that is, occurred between the British and the Venezuelan governments in 1895. So I'm thinking that might be New Guinea or Guyana.
Yeah, well, that was the treaty that I mentioned earlier.
So this Olney guy claimed that the Monroe Doctrine gave the U.S. authority to mediate the border dispute.
Yes.
And he extended the meaning of the Monroe Doctrine, which had previously stated merely that the Western Hemisphere was closed to additional European colonization. Mm-hmm. The statement reinforced the original purpose of the Monroe Doctrine, that the U.S. had the right to intervene in its own hemisphere.
Yes.
Which is a very broad statement. The U.S. has a right to intervene in our own hemisphere.
Right, and that's what I had mentioned about Roosevelt after he took office and he established the Roosevelt Corollary, which was Europeans you keep out, but the United States, we can go in.
Yeah.
We're allowed to.
Yeah. And then you had another, so on that, they called it the Venezuela crisis of 1902 and 1903 that you're talking about. And I have I looked on this was a naval blockade imposed against Venezuela by Great Britain, Germany, and Italy in December of that 1902 to February 1903. The president of Venezuela refused to pay foreign debts to these Europeans. Castro assumed that the American Monroe Doctrine would see Washington intervene. So he was saying, I'm not paying my debts because Big Brother is going to take care of me. You know, United States with the Monroe Doctrine, they're going to defend us. And so this is where Roosevelt claimed that he forced the Germans to back down by sending a larger fleet to Venezuela. He threatened war if Germans landed, but he did not make any preparations for war against any major power. He didn't alert the Senate, the War Department, the Navy Department, anything like that. But it kind of worked because it brought those countries to the bargaining table to mediate. And so that was where it worked. I have no doubt, though, that Teddy Roosevelt would have went to war with them, prepared or not. He probably would have sent the ships down there and done it. So, yeah, you talked about the Roosevelt corollary.
Yeah, and part of that is the whole I speak softly and carry a big stick
right
thing, in which every kid knows if you watch old Bugs Bunny cartoons or something. Probably nobody knows where it comes from.
Yeah.
And this is where it comes from.
Critics have argued that the corollary asserted U.S. domination in the area, effectively making them the hemispheric policemen. Where have you heard that before? The policemen of the world.
Right.
We're not.
Yeah. International police power. And that was a quote, and that had to do with Panama from 1903, because Panama was not its own country yet. It was still part of Colombia.
Mm.
And I did not realize it until I was doing the research on this, but we were trying to get a treaty signed with the government of Colombia for the Panama Canal.
Oh.
And the Colombians refused.
Oh, okay.
They ended up voting it down. Well, there was already an insurrection in Panama against the Colombians that was already taking place.
Yeah. I wonder who armed them and supplied them.
Well, that's the thing, is, classic United States.
Yeah.
We suddenly sided with the Panamanians because we still want the canal.
Right.
We sided with the Panamanians, and they declared an independence. We immediately recognized their country.
There you go.
The Colombians couldn't do anything about it because we have our entire Navy down there ready to go to action. And almost right after that, the new Panamanian government approved the Panama Canal Treaty.
There you go.
And so we started to do the Panama Canal. But I do want to mention about the big stick thing.
Uh-huh.
I did not know this, but the actual quote is, it's a West African proverb, which I did not know. And that was not mentioned in the original description because at the time, if you mentioned support or you mentioned anything that had to do with the blacks of our country, you were immediately called out.
Yeah.
And Roosevelt was a big supporter of racial integration and support for minorities and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had quoted this West African proverb, and the actual quote is, "There is a homely old adage which runs, 'Speak softly and carry a big stick. You will go far.' If the American nation will speak softly and yet build and keep at a pitch of the highest training a thoroughly efficient Navy, the Monroe Doctrine will go far."
Mm. Very wise.
Yeah.
That makes total sense. I think Speak Softly would say, we don't need to be isolationists, but we're not going to meddle in other people's affairs. We're not going to go invade other countries. We could take over this whole hemisphere if we wanted to.
Don't mess around.
But we're not going to do that. That's the don't tread on me, the Gadsden flag.
I think the best example of don't mess around with the United States is actually the old Empire of Japan.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
There was nothing left of them after the end of that war.
Yeah, we could have done more.
We could have.
Yeah. So with what else with the Monroe Doctrine? Oh, going up to World War II. Do you have anything before then?
No.
Of note? I have this. The majority of Americans at the beginning, they supported defending the Western Hemisphere, including Canada, Mexico, Central America, South America, West Indies, and Greenland, which I was like, oh, Greenland. You had this conquest of St. Pierre, and I'm not even going to pretend. These are islands off the coast of Newfoundland, where you had some Free French forces came, and those areas were controlled by the Vichy French, which supported the Nazis. And when they came over, these Free French came over to liberate these islands from the Vichy French, people said it was a violation of the Monroe Doctrine and that we should go up there and do something about it. But we didn't. That was actually the Secretary of State, Cordell Hull, said that. This is a violation of the Monroe Doctrine.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So quickly, 1800s, when the British seized the Falkland Islands
Yeah.
off of Argentina,
Yeah.
we didn't do anything about it after
Nope.
the Monroe Doctrine was established because we didn't have a navy.
Mm-hmm.
So we couldn't do anything with the British.
That's
and
right.
then you flash forward all the way up to the early 1980s. I want to say 1980, 81. The Argentinians went back and took over the Falkland Islands,
Yeah.
which were theirs originally. The British couldn't stand it. Margaret Thatcher at the time, who was the prime minister, said, nope, we're going to come get them back. And the U.S. ambassador actually went there and met with Margaret Thatcher and said, we don't want you to go back and do that. No,
Yeah.
don't do it. And she more or less just told the United States, F you, and went in there and did it. And we didn't stop them. Obviously, it was between them. But you know what? The British actually incurred quite a few casualties and lost several ships
They did.
as a result of that little incursion down there.
Yep. So during World War II, also, the U.S. invoked the Monroe Doctrine and occupied Greenland to prevent its use by German following the German occupation of Denmark. So Germany took over Denmark, and the U.S. was like, "Oh, we can't let them get Greenland. That's too close." So we went up there and took that. And then in 1951,
Yeah, they liked us then.
yeah, they loved us. In 1951, a treaty gave the U.S. a significant role in Greenland's defense. And today we have a U.S. Space Force base there, probably a few others that are deep under the ice.
Thule, I can't pronounce their name. Thule Air Force Base, Thule.
Yeah, yeah. I printed off stuff about the capture of St. Pierre, but we'll save that for another day. It was pretty cool. What else we got? Oh, going all the way up to John Kennedy.
Oh, hang on.
All right.
So before then, so you had the Cold War applications of the Monroe Doctrine.
Okay, yeah.
So the Cold War kicked in after 1945, 46, really, because that's when Churchill was here in the great state of Missouri, gave his speech about the Iron Curtain.
Yeah.
And anyway, and the Cold War kicked off, and we actually, the CIA, God love them, they went in and conducted a coup of Guatemala in 1954. And then there was another coup with Chile, also CIA induced, 1973.
Those all worked out great.
Yeah, in both cases, dictatorships came out of both and was not a good result.
No.
And then you come up to Kennedy.
Yeah, Kennedy said in August 29th, 1962 news conference that the Monroe Doctrine means what it has meant since President Monroe and John Quincy Adams enunciated it, and that is that we would oppose a foreign power extending its power into the Western Hemisphere. And this is mentioning the Cuban Missile Crisis.
So this is a speech after the missile crisis.
This was leading, like the Russians had moved into Cuba, started moving their stuff, and that's what he said in response.
So it was part of the missile crisis.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because that was a scary moment.
It was.
And
I mean, I wasn't alive. I don't know.
right. And well, that's when President Kennedy actually did it right and instituted a total naval blockade of Cuba.
Yep.
We still had a navy to do it.
He cited the Monroe Doctrine for that, saying we have the right to defend our neighbors.
And there was a Russian ship, or a Soviet at the time, Soviet Union, was going to rush the blockade and challenge it. And they came in, and we ended up stopping them. And then there was some...
It was real close. My dad was in Germany at this time, West Germany, when this was going on. And then that was when the Russians started building the Berlin Wall while this was going on. And then they alerted everybody in Western Germany, and they all mobilized in a big convoy, and they were going towards Berlin. And my dad said, he's like, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was just sitting in the back of the truck. I was told to grab my gear and to get in the truck. And I didn't know where we were going, but it was a long, long convoy, and we spent all day and night in the back of this deuce and a half. And then we just turned around and went back. And he had no idea how close they were to going to World War III.
And that's exactly the response from my father-in-law, because he was in the Navy, but he was in Hong Kong on shore leave, and they pulled everybody off. Get in your ship right now. And all the ships went out. And he said, dawn the next morning, they're out there in the South China Sea. And he said, he had never seen so many ships before in his life. All across, all the way to the horizon, the U.S. Navy is just like there.
Yeah.
Because they're ready, and they got them all out there real quick, and he didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, it's strange. Like, it reminds me of when I was in Korea, and we just got an alert one day. You know, usually the alerts there were like 3 a.m. The sirens would go off. You wake up, you get your stuff. You know, it's a drill, and you're not too worried about it. This was on a Friday at, I think it was about 5:30 p.m. So everybody's off work, drinking beers, blasting some music, having a good time, and then all of a sudden the sirens start going off. And those sirens sound exactly like the tornado sirens here in Missouri. And so every time the tornado sirens go off, my hair goes up on my arms because of this one event. And it was about 5:30 in the evening, and I remember hearing it, and I was walking from the company headquarters over to my barracks, and the sirens go off. So I just stopped in my tracks, just like everybody else did on the post. And we're all looking at each other and then looking around like, what the hell's going on? What is it? Is this? And then nobody wanted to actually believe that this was a real alert. So then you see one guy running. I saw my company commander come out of our company headquarters and run towards the battalion at a full sprint. And I was like, oh, crap. That's not good. And so we go up and get all our gear. We draw weapons. We get our trucks fired up. We're mounting 50 cals on top and doing our thing, getting ready to go draw ammo. And everybody's like, stop. Just wait here. And we sat there for hours and hours just waiting to go draw ammo. And nobody's told us anything. And then next thing we heard was, all right, stand down, put everything away, turn weapons back in, do all that. We're like, what the hell happened, man? So they had a formation, told us what happened. There was an incursion from the north. Like 10 North Korean soldiers came across the border, were engaged by the South Korean army. Some, like 8 of them got killed, 2 of them jumped in the river, and they were unaccounted for. But anyway, that's my story. That's like when you're a young soldier, you have no idea what the hell's going on. They're just like, hey, go this direction. I'll tell you when to stop. Like it's scary, man. It's really scary. And I can't imagine during the Cold War how much a higher degree of fear it was.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny because you and I have different perspectives. You were enlisted. I was an officer.
Yeah.
So Korea, for me, I was a brand new lieutenant. And just one happened. I was back at Camp Humphreys. I was the officer of the day. So here it is, the middle of the night. I want to say it was around 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And just sitting there talking to the NCOs who are also on duty. And all of a sudden, the red phone, is going off. Like, oh my gosh, what the heck's going on? So you go over there, you sit down at the desk real quick. And it's not really a desk. It's more like it's a monitor system with a shelf just wide enough for a binder.
Yeah,
and it's got all these phones and lights going off, going crazy. And you break out the binder and you pick up the red phone and it's like, stand by, stand by, stand by. And then I'm standing by and flipping open the book, following the directions. And it says, all of a sudden they're going to go through it and they're going to call out every single installation you have to sound off. Mm-hmm. Camp House, Camp Casey, whatever, Camp Humphreys, present, and then going on. And then all of a sudden it's like, missile alert. It's like, you flip back and going through it. And you're like, they keep going, all these different things you got to go through, blah, 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 blah. And you're going through it. You're ready to go. And you got your runner ready to go get the camp commander.
Yeah.
The post commander and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden it's, the news was the North Koreans launched a missile. Mm-hmm. But we didn't know where it was going.
Yeah.
And you're freaking out.
And what year was that?
That was 1994.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they launched like 3 missiles when I was over there.
Yeah, so I can't remember exactly when Kim Il-sung died. Because I was there when he died.
The first Kim.
Yes, the first Kim. Yeah. And then Kim Jong-il took over after. But I can't remember. I think it was before he died. But that thing's going off. We're like, oh my gosh. I'm a new lieutenant trying to go through the script and all that. And it was like, okay, stand down. I'm like,
yeah. Us enlisted guys, when they launched a missile, we're sitting out there with our rucks and weapons. And, we got to hump the 50 cals all the way down from the arms room down the mountainside to the freaking motor pool. And we're just sitting there like, man, I hope that missile lands right on my face. I don't want to do this. I just want to go to bed. But that was the one time they launched a missile and went over Japan. It went over the top of Japan and landed in the Pacific.
Yeah.
Accidentally. And Japan's got their Navy and their Air Force up in the air, and they were going to attack North Korea. And we're like, no.
So I know that when I was there.
I was about to go home when that happened. I remember I was about to start my terminal leave, go on leave to get out of there. And I had 4 days left when that crap went down. I was like, no, for the love of God, please just wait 4 to 5 days. Let me get out of here. Then you can do whatever.
So I did not know how bad things were or how close things came to, a confrontation.
Yeah.
Until later. So while I was there, several things happened while I was in Korea. Besides the missile alerts, we had a Kiowa helicopter.
That's right.
Go down in North Korea, and the pilots were captured, and we had to wait for the transfer. That took place. Kim Il-sung died.
That's a big one.
That was a big one. And then we had a sub beach.
Yeah.
On the South Korean side, on the west coast of South Korea. So all these things took place while I was there. And then when I first arrived in Korea, brand new, I was in my unit maybe 2 weeks. And they said, Lieutenant Spies, go run the railhead for, I don't remember the unit. But when I went there, that's when the United States sent over all the Patriot batteries.
Oh.
And so I was running the railhead to get all those Patriot batteries in country. That was taking place. I did not know it until after 9/11. So we're going all the way up to 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
And there was a congressional hearing in which the former or current commanders of the 8th Army in the United Nations, they're all the same, the same commander, was given a hearing before Congress. And it was discovered then, they asked the question, how close were we to war or shooting a nuke?
Yeah.
At that time? We were like a decision away.
Yeah.
And I'm there at the time, and it didn't seem like it, because not one time out of all the stuff that was going on did they ever call us to a full alert to go man positions.
Right.
Not once.
Really?
Not one time.
Dude, I've done it. I did it twice while I was over there.
And I did not know it, because I had a friend of mine who was up at Camp Casey. That's
okay.
my best friend.
Yeah.
And he told me that their life expectancy, if something was to go on, was 32 seconds.
Yeah, we were well within artillery range at Camp House.
Right.
And our fighting positions were up on a ridge top, and you look across the valley, and it's like, oh, that's North Korea right there. Like, you could see the beginning of the DMZ. And then we're like, well, how far are we from the DMZ? 12 miles? I was like, dude, I can walk 12 miles in 3 hours with a full rug. I was like, holy crap, man, we could have 1 million people right here. And we just got the alert, so that means they had a big head start. Like, dude, we got maybe an hour before these people show up.
Right.
and you're just looking out across the misty valley and imagine 1 million people coming at you. Like,
right. And this is where I believe the South Koreans were strategically smart. Because if you go to Seoul is a huge city.
yes.
And if you stay in Seoul and you move north, the South Koreans keep building up closer, more north than south.
Yeah.
Well, why is that? If you think about it, if you were ever invaded by the North Koreans, everything gets blown up. Yeah. The roads,
right?
You have no more roads. They're never going to penetrate South Korea like they did the first time.
So like that was our mission at Camp House, was to load up all the demo, all the explosives, and go north all the way to the JSA to pick up the infantry up there and all the personnel. And then we were going to retreat south and blow all the rock drops. They had you remember those big rock drops?
Yes. Boom, boom, boom.
These huge, massive blocks of concrete.
Yes.
Over top of the highways. They look like overpasses, but it's just solid concrete and rebar. So our job was to fall back to a rock drop, rig it, blow it, fall back to a rock drop.
Because they're all preset, so they fall on the road.
They fall on the roadway. And it would force the North Koreans to use the rice paddies. So the whole thing was, if they attack in the summertime, they can't go through the rice paddies. But if they attack through the wintertime, there's not enough food to sustain them on an attack. So they're screwed either way. But us who were way up there, we were going to get the full brunt of it.
Oh, you sure were. And they were never going to make it through Seoul.
No.
They just weren't.
No. Yeah, and we all knew it. That's the thing, too. We all knew we were dead. We were dead meat. And we were just like, well, I guess we'll have a couple beers about it. Nothing else to do.
Well, you know what? Cheers, man.
Hey, cheers, Kevin. We're still here, buddy.
Which, getting us back on topic. So back to the Monroe Doctrine.
Cuban Missile Crisis?
No, yeah, we got past that. So now we're up to...
How about the Iran-Contra affair?
We're up to the 80s.
Then? Okay.
So you have Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
Gets elected. Well, first off, 1978, President Carter signed a treaty with Panama, turning over the Panama Canal.
Terrible.
Back to Panama.
Terrible.
I wrote about that back in 1989. I have an essay at home. Actually, I pulled it out this morning. I dug it out of my footlocker.
What a stupid thing.
About that whole deal.
It's like the British handing over
Hong Kong. Yeah.
What the heck are you thinking, man?
Yeah. So you have that, and then you have Cubans suddenly move into Grenada, and we invade Grenada in 1983.
Yep.
Kick the Cubans out.
I guess what? There was Cubans in Venezuela this month, and 32 of them paid the ultimate price for getting on the wrong side of America.
Yep. But you know what? President Reagan invoked the Monroe Doctrine with Guatemala. I'm sorry, Grenada. Mm-hmm. And that was back in 1983.
Yep.
And then flash forward, President Bush, his successor, 1989, Panama.
Mm-hmm.
We invaded Panama to get out Manuel Noriega. And that's where President Trump was using the same philosophy coming towards Venezuela, because we went to Panama to eliminate a single person. And that's what we did in Venezuela, but we didn't have to invade them to do it.
No.
Like we did in Panama.
Yeah, Panama was like 82nd Airborne, 7th Infantry Division, Rangers, SEALs, Delta. Big operation.
But I do want to back that up a little bit, because right when President Reagan came into office, right at the end of the Carter administration.
1980, right?
Yes. Yeah. You had the Mariel boat lift out of Cuba.
Oh, that's right.
In which the Cubans sent more than 1,200 boats loaded with 120,000 migrants across the bay, or across the ocean there, into basically Miami. Key West and Miami, Florida.
Yeah. That's how you got Scarface, the movie.
Oh, man, you're killing my
are you
my
going
vibe there? Yeah, actually, I had that written down. So, you know what? It was a great boom for Hollywood.
Sure.
Because they come up with the movie Scarface, which is a great movie, by the way.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you what. Watch the documentary Cocaine Cowboys. Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yep.
You're like, what? They're using literal refrigerator trucks out in the streets because there were so many dead bodies that they had to put these bodies from.
And you know what? Castro wasn't stupid.
No.
Yeah, there was a lot of their economy crashed, so there's a lot of people who are trying to get into the United States. I get it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Castro emptied out his prisons and his mental facilities, and sent them all by boat into the U.S. too.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting the crime waves that we're still dealing with now, essentially.
Yeah.
And we're finally starting to address them. But besides Scarface, the other movie that comes to mind is the movie Invasion USA with Chuck Norris.
I don't know if I've seen that.
It's a campy movie, but I think it's a great Golden Globus movie in which all these terrorists invade the United States through World War II landing craft, and they land on the coast of Florida.
You talked about this before, didn't you?
Yeah, they land on the coast of Florida, and then they infiltrate all across the United States and start doing all these coordinated terrorist attacks. But most of them are Spanish-speaking Cubans. A lot of what takes place is in the Cuban area of Miami.
Yeah.
You know, what was it? What did they call that? It was some kind of Havana.
Oh, Little Havana.
Yeah. So a lot of it took place there.
Okay.
And Chuck Norris all over there running around.
I'll tell you, even I was down in Miami. I can't remember the year, but it was, let's say, 10 years ago. And Miami feels not American. That it's tropical. It feels like you're on a tropical island somewhere. Everybody's speaking Spanish or some kind of mix of English and Spanish, and it's very Cuban there.
But they love the United States.
They love it. They love the United States. They're great. They are great addition to the melting pot of America.
We have a long history with involvement with Cuba.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, 1898, we were in Cuba. You know, the Spanish-American War, and I am still.
We should have kept it then.
I'm still a firm believer that had we, it started under Obama, but he didn't go through with it. And I wish he would have normalized relations with Cuba.
I feel like he did as much as he could because there's still crazy communist dictatorship there.
There is, but I think if you would normalize relations with Cuba and open up the markets again, allow the people from the United States to travel there, their economy would just go boom.
Yeah, it'd be like sending blue jeans to East Berlin.
Because right now, if I want to go there, I go up to Canada and fly down to Cuba.
Did they reverse that? I thought we could travel to Cuba now.
No, I don't think so. I think you still got to go to Canada to do it, or another country. But I think if they would just normalize.
Yeah, just open
Castro's
trade with
dead.
Yeah, who cares? Yeah.
They would love for the United States to come back. I mean,
well,
John Wayne.
Their economy is in a complete free fall right now.
Yeah, and John Wayne is an actor. He was a big investor in Cuban
real estate.
At the time.
Yeah.
You know, all the resorts and stuff like that.
Sure.
And when Castro took over, he almost went bankrupt.
Wow.
And that's why he put together Bat Jack Productions and started making his own movies.
Okay.
Because he had to recover all the money he was losing or lost.
Dang. That's a beautiful country too, man. Just looking at the pictures, and
I would love to go to Cuba.
How much ingenuity those people have with like the old cars that are still running, like 1955 Chevys and Fords that
they keep them
running.
And now it's a thing.
Like, whoa.
Yep.
It's crazy, man. And I would love to go to Cuba one day. That'd be beautiful.
Yeah, so you have that, and you have Panama, blah, 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 and the Mariel boat lift in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But then you get to today.
Right.
And the Trump corollary.
Not even today. That was 2017, right?
What?
When the Trump corollary, 2017?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, now it's called the Donroe Doctrine, which I think is stupid.
So here, back in 2017, he mentioned the possibility of military intervention in Venezuela. Then the CIA director, Mike Pompeo, he declared the nation's deterioration was a result of the interference from Iranian and Russian-backed groups. So he works for the CIA, so obviously he's trustworthy, right? But
he knows more than we do.
I guess so. Chinese trade ambitions. So Venezuela has the largest oil reserve in the world. They have the largest gold deposit in the world. And there's so many other precious metals there that it's extremely valuable.
Rare earths.
So China is just raping that country. And Russia's taking their oil because of all the embargoes and all that. They're probably buying it super cheap.
You're right, because as of today, the United States has seized 5 ghost ships,
yeah,
of oil.
Yeah. So Trump in his first term was talking about this, and then of course you had Sleepy Joe took over, and then stuff went crazy again.
Who, by the way, was the one who declared a $45 million bounty on Maduro?
Yeah, like the whole cabinet, like everybody, it's 25 from the top, and then it's like 15, 10, 5 million.
Right, so
all these
think
people.
about that. We go in and actually take them out, and suddenly the Democrats are all freaking out about it. Like, you're the ones who set the bounty.
It's so
we just did it.
It's so blatantly obvious what their game is. Like, whenever a Democrat does something good and the Republicans
it doesn't matter the
foul,
party.
and like it goes back and forth. It's so stupid.
It does.
But here I had this highlighted. The final draft of the 2025 National Security Strategy called upon the United States to reassert and enforce the Monroe Doctrine to restore American preeminence in the Western Hemisphere. Mm-hmm. And this was called the Trump Corollary. So I guess it wasn't called then until 2025. And foreign policy experts describe the move as a desire to divide the world into spheres of influence between the United States, Russia, and China.
Yeah.
I see it as America's just saying, stay the hell away from us.
Yeah. Part of the Trump corollary, if you look at what he was doing with it, or what he is doing with it, is essentially to combat the drug trafficking. And human trafficking. But also to open up trade amongst ourselves, the hemisphere, the two Americas. Like, hey, why, we're neighbors. Let's protect each other, look out for each other, trade with each other. Why wouldn't you do that? That's just common sense. Right. I mean, let's face it. The Chinese are shooting the ingredients for fentanyl.
100%. And the manufacturing equipment.
Right. To take out the United States.
Yeah.
In that way, that's non-militaristic.
That's a clear tactic, and it's been used by Afghanistan against Russia since the end of the Russian war, the war in Afghanistan.
Which, by the way, I read about a PSA yesterday, a public service announcement, that there are many people receiving unsolicited packets of seeds in the mail, and the seeds will have on the packaging, rose bushes or vegetables or something like that. It turns out that the seeds are actually invasive plants. And you know where they're coming from? China. Yeah. So biowarfare is being conducted by China
didn't
right
they catch
now.
A Chinese spy in one of the universities that was doing that, like invasive species and something with wildlife too, where they were trying to basically poison our farms and agriculture industry.
So they're saying right now, if you ever receive unsolicited seeds in the mail, just pitch them.
Yeah.
Get them in the trash.
Well,
anyway,
that's our thesis statement on the Monroe Doctrine.
but I do want to mention, so since Venezuela, there were 2 articles that came out that one of them said directly, this puts Canada on notice.
Ooh.
Now, why would anybody talk about Canada?
Because they let China build military bases there.
And you have all the open borders.
Yeah.
And it turns out a lot of the drug trafficking that takes place is from Canada into the United States. You would think it all comes out of Mexico.
No
it doesn't.
way.
It's coming out of Canada.
Yeah.
So these are Canadian articles published in Canadian magazines.
Watch out, boy.
Saying this is a direct assertion against our own nation that we better pay attention and do what we need to be doing to stop what's happening.
That's why Greenland is so important, I think. We have Canada, we have Alaska. We need Greenland. We can box the Canadians in and make them behave.
Yeah, but it's also, like you mentioned, it's a direct line from Russia to the United States through Greenland.
Oh, 100%, yeah. Russia's always up in the North Pole trying to get, find ways across the North Pole and to mine and do stuff up there. And you can guarantee they're operating in the northern part of Greenland. So there's there's the isolationist part of me, libertarian, like live and let live. I'm not going to bother anybody. Don't bother me, that kind of stuff. But there's also the very patriotic part of me that I watch what happened in Venezuela and I'm like, yes, I would have loved to have been a part of that. That would have been so cool. And it's about time we start flexing our muscles and showing people, like, don't mess with us.
Well, what did President Trump state this week?
I don't know.
Against Mexico. He said, we're going to conduct airstrikes against the cartels in Mexico.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, he's telling you what's going to happen.
Yeah, you better get them or we're going to get them.
This is one of the things that people aren't paying attention to when it comes to President Trump. President Trump is open for negotiation.
Absolutely.
All day long. However, when you fail to negotiate and come to an agreement, or you just say, nope,
Well, what
what happens next?
Did you
He's
see what-
actually going to act on it.
Did you see what Maduro did? Had a video of him dancing, trying to imitate Trump, saying, "Come get me. You're not going to do anything." Blah blah blah. I guarantee Trump was saying, "Oh, okay. Watch this.
Yeah.
Here
Right.
come the D boys."
And I think this is something for the world, not just for the Western Hemisphere,
Yeah.
is that we're here, or I am trying to make things better. I am trying to stop a war,
Right.
but I'm willing to go to war to put an end to it.
It's exactly how we operated since the founding of this nation.
Yeah, it's never changed.
Don't tread on me. I'm not going to bother you if you don't bother me.
Right.
Period. Don't mess with my trade. Don't mess with my people, my borders, my sovereignty. If you do, you're going to be stepping on a rattlesnake. And that's just the way it should be. All the other countries in the world should be the same thing, you know?
We're in a unique position as a country because the only way we're going to get invaded is you have to send your Navy across to us.
Yeah.
And you know what? We're going to blow it up before you get here.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
If you were to come across Canada, it's a lot of miles.
Mm-hmm.
And you're probably not going to make it to the border.
No.
If you come up from Mexico, we're going to know that already.
Yeah.
And you're all going to burn up in the desert.
Right.
So there's a lot of envy and jealousy that comes from the other countries of the world because they're just not set up like ours. The closest one I can think of is maybe Australia.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because they're surrounded by water on all sides.
England.
I wouldn't even give England because England's
too close.
a spit across France.
Yeah.
And they've been invaded many times.
Well, you know, like we've talked about this before, the only way to beat us is to get us to beat ourselves.
Right. And
And
we're
that's-
doing a pretty good
We're
job.
doing pretty good. We're kicking our own ass right now.
Yep, unfortunately. And that's where the propaganda and all our foreign nations, our foreign enemies are concentrating.
Yeah.
That's what the drugs is all about. That's what the propaganda is for. That's why, you know, after this shooting in Minneapolis, isn't it amazing how all the protests popped up across the entire United States
Very organized.
with already their pre-printed signs
Yeah.
that talked about it.
Yeah.
And the signs are the same no matter where they're at.
Very organized. Yeah.
Who's providing all that money?
Yeah. China,
Yep.
Russia, or maybe even our own CIA. You never know. That's a whole other show, though, Kevin.
Actually, right now, I don't think that's happening. I think it's really foreign influence at this point. Unless they're a bunch of libtards, I'll say it.
Well, the deep state is still a thing. And the shadow government, if you want to call them that. I think that's the deep state, the shadow government.
Well,
whatever.
I think all the
There's
resistance we're seeing right now
bureaucrats.
is the deep state.
Yeah.
We're actually fighting the deep state,
Yeah.
and the deep state is resisting, and they're losing.
I think they're losing. Yeah, I agree.
Now, we have to, I mean, you cannot let up. We have to be fighting for the next 3 years. Keep going.
Yeah. Stay vigilant. You
Yes.
know, pay attention to what your city council's doing, your county council, your local legislature, whatever. And, you know, that's like our burden as Americans. We have to stay vigilant because the republic will fall if we don't. And we're very close, I believe.
And you know what? This is the most political conversation I think you and I have had.
Yeah, I think so. And we're not strangling each other.
No. And hopefully it'll be the last one.
What do you think of this bourbon, man? How many stars did you give it?
I give it 3.
3?
Yes. Couple reasons. Number one, I'm giving it 3 stars because it's not $100 bourbon.
You don't think so?
No. And so a little hindsight, some of the things I learned why some bourbons cost more than others. This one here is $100. They are not producing their own bourbon. They're purchasing it from another distiller.
Well, they get it as a spirit, right? There's the white liquor, right? And then they age it
Yes.
themselves.
So but someone else produced it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So
Which is
they
the
have,
old Seagram's plant.
they have to pay for that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then they're still having to pay for the barrels to do all of the finishing that takes place.
Well, do you want to talk about the logistics part of that? Like shipping from Indiana to D.C.?
Yeah.
Like how much would that cost? And it's a hazardous material.
Right. I'm sure it's in a tractor trailer tanker.
Yeah. It's a tanker. with a
of some
hazmat
sort.
placard, and you have to pay tolls along the way. You have to pay for fuel,
Yeah.
the driver, all that sort of stuff.
So the costs are going to go up.
And that all goes down to the consumer.
Right. So that's one reason why I'm giving it 3. The other one is, as much as I like it, I just think that cognac stands out way too much for me at the end. Again, it is a bourbon whiskey. I get it. I get it that it was aged in or finished in sherry and cognac barrels. So we're going to expect this. But
you think it came on a little too strong in the cognac department?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually really good. It's a distinctive bourbon whiskey, and I think that's what sets it apart from others that do the same similar process. Because it's triple cask, that's a challenge, and I think they made it work. I think it's actually a good product.
Do you think they overdid it a little bit? Like maybe double casking would be better than a triple casking?
No, I don't think they overdid it. I think they produced it the way. I think it's out the way it is. I think it honors the old Murray Hill recipe back from the late early 1900s. But I'm going to challenge it a little bit on just the classic bourbon. I mean, I'm going to drink more than one, but it's not a daily drinker. So I'm going to put it at 3.
Okay. I am at 3 as well.
Man, that's a long description to say why, but okay.
I'm at 3 as well, period. End of show. No, I like it. It's unique, but I'm just not really a big fan of aging bourbon in sherry or wine or whatever cask to get a different flavor in it. This is unique. It does taste. It tastes better than I expected it. Mm-hmm. I enjoy it a little bit more than I thought.
Sure.
I get what you're saying. The aftertaste, the cognac flavor that lingers can be, after a while, it's a bit much. It's just kind of overpowers the traditional bourbon flavors that I enjoy. Mm-hmm. And to me, I like my bourbons to come from the barrel, the white oak, the different chars, the different staves, how long you keep it in, the heat, like a Booker's type of thing, where you're rotating to get different humidities and evaporation points and all that sort of stuff. That's more of my wheelhouse of what I enjoy. But with that being said, I like this. This was good.
I do too.
But like you said, though, it's not a daily something that I would want to drink 2 glasses a night. And
I'm beginning to wonder, with Jim Beam shutting down their production for the next year.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there will be a contraction in the market from all these bourbon makers trying to come up with their own little things and doing cab casks and stuff like that.
They're going to pull the old De Beers trick where they have the supply and they're going to control.
Or if they retract all this stuff and try and get back to the basics, the fundamentals,
I would really
to keep the business going.
I would enjoy that. And
yes.
I would actually be willing to pay more for a bottle of bourbon that is crafted in that manner.
Yeah.
I think. And I would feel good about spending it. Right now, like you said, $100 for this bottle, you're like you wouldn't go out and buy another bottle of this for $100, would you?
I would not.
Yeah. So I felt good. $86 for a Booker's. I was like, okay, that's pretty good. But when I had to buy one for $100, I was like, I don't know, man. So we'll dig more into that next time. If you want to talk to us, you can get a hold of us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. Send us your comments. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that junk. You can email us at showmemk@gmail.com if you have a show idea or a bourbon suggestion. We'd love to hear it. And that is it, everybody. Have a good one. We'll see you next week.
See ya. Peace out.